Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toku Portal podcast for Kaitou Sentai LupinRanger versus Keisatsu Sentai PatoRanger. I am Vashivi, and joined with me today are.
Decade,
And Rye.
and today we are discussing episode. Oh,
Uh, so I upgraded to an Android phone, and it just notified me that we're live. Sorry, I just found that funny. Go on.
oh, um,
That right there is why I turned off notifications for Toku Portals.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that.
so episode 7 is what we're talking about today, and we start off with in the cafe. The officers are eating there. Tsukasa brings up an incident where people disappeared from a restaurant, steakhouse Takeda. Sakuya is shocked because he planned on taking Umika there. So he gets up and asks Umika on a date. She says that she'll
Hey,
be
you want to
working.
go to this restaurant where people fucking disappeared?
Yeah, that's that's what I was thinking of the first time. I was like, oh wait, no, he's probably gonna pick a different place. Uh, but yeah, that was kind of directed weirdly. Umika says that she'll be working. The officers take off, but Sakuya persists and gives Umika his number. Tsukasa tells him to hit on girls out of uniform, and Keiichiro is bothered when Sakuya replies that he just wants to hang out with a cute girl. He isn't really serious. Oh man, the banters. The banter's just so good. It's not just between the thieves, the officers are getting some great banter as well. What did you guys think?
I will give Sakuya this. He understands, like, that maybe he's not serious about it, but at least he's going to give it a try. Like, as long as he can acknowledge that something can come of it, maybe. Uh, Also, when, like, he's, like, coming up on Ubika, and she's, like, looking left and right, but Kairi and Tuma are, like, too busy, I was just thinking, like, nope, no one's saving you this time. Just like a casual thought. But then this actually turned out to be an episode where about Umika having to have people come and save her a lot. It's like, that's pretty clever. It's subtle, and if you don't get it, it doesn't change anything.
Like, that's one of the things that I'm starting to really like about this show is just like the subtle little things that happen. Like Tuma turning around and, going back to cooking. Kyrie sitting with the customers, not really working, but you know,
Socializing.
and yeah, socializing. It's like, and then this turned out to be an episode where literally she has to overcome the fact that nobody's going to come and save her. It's a very subtle thing. It's like, and even with Sakuya and like the whole love angle on this is like the fact that they delved into the fact that this isn't something I'm entirely serious about because it's more one of those if it goes good, it goes good. If not, if not. It's like at least the time was spent enjoyable. It's like and Keiichiro not really understanding that and basically doing the whole father figure, what are your intentions with my daughter kind of thing. That was funny as hell. Like I'm sitting there like as soon as it happened, I'm like, why the fuck do you care?
I think it's just like getting a read on him as a person.
Right, and like, and it makes sense because it again, it's one of those things like where if you're not thinking about it, it's kind of an out of not so much an out of character thing, but it's more one of those why do you care kind of thing. But with the nature of the show, with them delving into character development and like understanding how these characters are, especially with the fact that we haven't had a lot of screen time delving into the characters of the Power Rangers, it's a good way to do it.
Yep, definitely. So Kairi tells Umika that it might be a way to gather info if she goes on the date. Umika tosses Sakuya's number in the trash. Pogode arrives with their next target. We cut to a restaurant, Twinkle. A gangler arrives. The chef offers him food, so he'll let them go, but he's clearly hungry for something else. And then we get the opening.
The opening theme is just so good. Like, it is so good. Oh man.
Like normally I skip them. I've stopped skipping this one, and the only other one series that I've done that with was X-Aid.
Seriously, like, it took me a while to, like, catch on to the Kyuranger theme enough to, like, even listen to, like, the last part of it, which was the best part. But with this one, I just keep listening to the whole thing. They nailed it.
So then the thieves arrive at the restaurant and confront Merugu, is the name of the gangler. We get the episode title number 7, Always Being Saved. They Kaito change, roll call. Blue warns the others that his collection piece can expand spaces. It's kind of vague what that means, until the gangler turns the tables by eating Blue whole. Red saves Yellow from the same fate and is eaten as well. Yellow trembles in fear behind a counter after remembering her friend's depth. Merugu takes off satisfied, and he's ready for the next restaurant. Yeah, that was intense. Thoughts?
So that was a little unexpected. Just like straight up eating them. Also, can I say just how these villains feel? Like with Kyuranger, we got very generic villains, and probably in like the past couple as well. But here, like, these guys are supposed to be crime lords, and that's how they feel. We started off with arson, but now we've got like eating people and stuff, like some Hannibal shit. These guys actually feel like serious villains, and I really appreciate that. There's a lot of work going into this series.
Like in terms of the villains, like, you're right. Over the past couple of years, is like the monsters of the week is, I'm guessing, what you're more referring to.
Yeah.
It just seemed really generic. Of, okay, we're just gonna use like this animal type or whatever the trope may be for that season, and then it's really only the generals and whatnot that actually get like legitimate personalities. These villains all have their own personalities and their own traits and how they handle things, the way they commit crimes, and I feel cannibalism is kind of an extreme one to portray, if I do say so myself.
Don't worry, it's not cannibalism because that guy isn't human.
Well, this is true. But
that doesn't make it feel any better. Like,
no, it doesn't. Though I will admit, the use of his collection piece, I actually kind of like how it ties into actually what the collection piece physically is.
It's an oil lamp, traditionally known as a genie lamp.
A magic lamp, as in like Aladdin. So the fact that it would have a temporal distortion unit within it makes sense. So yeah, that was a nice little touch. And then I will admit, based on the roll calls, I am so looking forward to the final roll call of this season.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited.
I don't care how they do it, whether it's out of uniform, helmet off, what they choose to do with it. It's gonna be amazing.
I'm expecting a helmet off one this time around.
Like, because I mean, it would work either way. especially with the fact that the thieves are putting on outfits. Which I'll get
Oh
to
right,
that in a
and the
minute.
Power Rangers have their police uniforms. Either way would really
Right,
work.
right, right. So I'm really interested in the end of this, but I feel it's either way they're going to kill it this season.
Yep, I could see that. Um, so let's see. We cut to Delgranio's mansion. Gosh reveals that Merugu conquers worlds after eating its people.
No, he conquers the world, then eats the people. He's just
Oh,
doing it differently this time because there's a contest.
oh, okay. Well, he's conquered worlds, so you know how strong he is. He never gets full because of his collection piece. Then we cut to Kairi and Toma
No.
inside
First
his.
off, Dogranio makes a comment on, I wonder if he'll send me delicacies like last time.
Oh,
And that
yeah, I
fucking
forgot
disturbs
that.
me.
Yeah.
The implication behind that. Like, holy shit.
I mean, human experimentation was one thing.
And now we're just eating people for funsies?
Yep. So we cut to Kairi and Toma inside Merugu's stomach with other victims and furniture. They're being slowly digested by a foggy stomach acid. Alone in the cafe, Umika is nearly broken as she remembers her lost comrades and her friend. She hates that she's always the one being saved. We flash back to her being bullied in elementary school, but her friend Shiho defends her.
What was
In high
wrong with her
school-
dress? Like, was it because it was just so bright?
I
I
guess.
think it was more that it was exceedingly childlike, like frilly and whatnot, where everybody else was dressing more casual.
I thought it looked good.
Oh, I'm not arguing that part, but apparently kids in Japan are assholes too.
So in high school, Shiho saved Umika from being crystallized by pushing her out of the way after she probably saw Zamigo show up. Kogure arrives and tells her that hope does not disappear unless you allow it to. He reminds Umika that she's been changed by the power already, and hints that she can save the others by stealing Merugu's collection piece. After leaving the cafe, Kogure hopes she succeeds, but just because he wants a return on his investment in her, which would be the VS vehicle.
Yeah, for a second I was starting to think like, oh man, is Koguri like actually showing compassion for them? Nah, this is still strictly business.
See, the line he says has me confused. Because not so much because of what is said, is like, but how it is said. Because to me, it's like I'm not entirely sold that he was referring to her VS vehicle.
Yeah.
No, it
that
could have
was-
been referring to the others that were eaten, and he just wants them back.
Yeah, I think
Is
he
it-
would have
or
been
was it he
fine with
referring
everyone dying
To like,
as long as he got to keep the vehicles.
Well, what do you
And the
think it was
guns.
referring to, Vashi?
the lamp,
As a vehicle?
Like, not so much as a vehicle, but more as an item that can be used to create a vehicle.
Oh, like
it
expanding
seems-
space!
I mean, there are many little ways that can go, and then if what Drago had said before, this is the collection piece that's supposed to represent Magibuster.
Oh, actually, I didn't even think of that, but you're right.
If I hadn't been talking to King, if I wouldn't have been talking about King after I watched this, I wouldn't have remembered that.
I love that you just called him Magibuster. I didn't even catch that at first.
Whatever his name was.
He was Magishine, but he was also Beatbuster. So calling him Magibuster was super appropriate.
Yeah,
Wait, no, he
that's
wasn't.
it.
He was Magiello.
Yeah, he was Magic Yellow.
Oh shit! I got confused because
No.
of.
Okay, now everyone's confused. The reason Vashi was confused is because his weapon is called the Magi Lamp Buster.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So moving on. Let's
Sorry,
see.
I was on mute.
Did you have more to
Well.
say?
But I said the reason why I had made that mistake was in the conversation I was having with the king, the lamp part was removed.
Aha.
So that's where my confusion was.
Okay. But yeah, Magic shines a lamp, which referring to like maybe you were saying that was a vehicle. It makes me think like, what if that was used to make vehicles because it expands spaces? Just my
That could
thought.
be. That could be interesting.
I mean,
Watch the lamp
they are
never get
shrunk
brought up
down.
again.
Oh yeah, probably not.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. So after Kogure leaves, Umika spots the same magazine Meguru was using to pick targets and sees the next restaurant on his list. At the station, Jim explains the connections between the incidents. Sakuya is shocked when he checks his phone.
So Merugu is doing it all wrong. He's going to like he started at the best and then he's just going to the worst ones.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do something like this, start with the worst one. At least that way it gets better.
Yeah. You should have started at 3.
Because I mean, if I go to a buffet, I'm not eating the really good food first.
So Kairi and Toma have made a platform from tables in the stomach, so they don't get digested instantly. Kairi barely saves a child from falling into the fog. Toma wonders if the rescue would have come sooner if Kairi was the one on the outside.
Possibly.
Kairi regrets. Yep, probably. Kairi regrets digging up Umika's trauma when he sacrificed himself. Toma is surprised at Kairi's selflessness. And Kairi just kind of plays it off like, yeah, I can be nice sometimes.
I wonder if that was also like a subtle hint that Kairi might feel for Umika.
Oh well, as a big brother, I think definitely.
Yeah, I didn't think about it the first time I watched, but I was thinking about
Yeah.
it the second time.
For sure. Then we cut to Sakuya dressed up at a restaurant. Umika rushes in and apologizes for being late in a cute outfit.
So let's stop here because King couldn't make it tonight, and she really wanted to squee about how much she ships these two and how cute she thinks they are together.
And as much as I hate to admit it, I agree with her. Like, me and King were talking about it the other day. It's like, I ship these two more than I do Raptor and Spada.
Whoa. That's heavy.
And I will point out, I'm not usually a big shipper when it comes to this type of stuff. It was easy in Q Ranger because they had kind of made it canon with the Henshin lessons in the way that they had Raptor like spying on Spada and stuff like that while he was training. This one, it just kind of feels like more natural, like budding relationship kind of thing.
Oh yeah, they're probably going to work towards something, and at that point I will accept it. But right now, Sakuya comes on way too strong. He needs to chill so hard.
I completely agree. I will also point out that King said that if they don't become a thing by the end of the series, she's going to be very, very pissed.
Yeah, I'm sure she will. She's actually really gushing over this. Is Zero listening right now? Probably not.
I'm not sure.
Zero, if you're listening, sorry, but King ships them super hard.
we can't stop the shipping on your podcast. Sorry.
Maybe that's why he actually quit the Sentai cast.
Oh.
Well, it was that, or we kept trying to get him to stop talking about Ultraman.
He does that anyways.
It's been a while. So, yeah, Umika pretty much pretends that this is a normal date. Medigu arrives at the restaurant. Sakuya tells Umika to run, and Keisatsu changes. The two can't believe their bad luck. Really not bad luck. The other officers rush to the scene. Umika changes into her thief outfit in the restroom. And
So
she psychs herself up to save the others.
Meguru here says he can't catch a break today. This is a completely new day from when he ran into the LupinRangers, and that actually went super well for him. So I'm kind of wondering what was going wrong with his day.
Yeah, that's actually kind of curious. It's like, what else did he fuck up on the way to the restaurant? Did he not? Could he not find it to start with?
Oh god. Like he wakes up late, I bet.
The other thing I want. The other thing I'm confused about, not so much confused about is like, but it was a show that this is a process that takes time. Umika changing into, slowly, mind you, changing into her thief outfit, while Takuya kind of gets his ass kicked. I'm curious as to if, like, they're going to continue that trend, or if they'll just ignore the fact that of them having to change.
Well, it wasn't long after that Keiichiro and Tsukasa also appeared, so I think Sakuya may have actually been fighting him for quite a while by himself. They probably weren't even doing much to each other, just mostly dodging each other's blows. I mean, it takes them like 10 seconds to get outside of the restaurant when we see them inside. Like, the very next camera angle is they're outside already.
And like, that's what I meant, is like, but it seemed to take her a very long time to get dressed.
You ever put on girls' clothes?
No, I have not.
Well, there's a reason why they take so long.
Don't think I'm gonna... I'm sure there's a reason. But it just seemed like, with the way they filmed it, with her kind of moving in slow motion, for lack of a better term, just seemed like it took an extraordinarily long amount of time.
So, let's see. Yeah, Nigo pretty much takes a beating before the other PatoRangers arrive and fight. During the fight, Umika arrives and steals Merigu's piece in a flash. She literally just like tackles Nigo and then pushes the others out. It's crazy. It's awesome. He throws up his victims and the furniture he had eaten. A chef tells Ichigo that the thieves saved them. Toma and Kairi realize that Umika used the police, well, manipulated them basically, into helping her. They Kaito change and fight. Merigu is killed with the Cyclone finisher attack. Thoughts?
Once again, we get another really good camera work fight with the LupinRangers. I'm not going to keep pointing this out going forward because it's just become the standard. I just like how smoothly it flows. Whoever's doing all of this, they're really doing a good job.
Like, I'm not gonna point out the camera work until they start fucking it up.
Oh, actually, there's a bit more I want to talk about here. So, first off, I love, like, the little teasing with the collection piece that Kairi does when he takes it. But also, They've appeared unchanged in front of the Power Rangers before. This is the first time they've done it so close up.
Well, in fairness, they have on their masquerade outfits.
Yeah, it's just now they can get like a good, better look at like height, hair, things like that.
Which is what comes into play later. But like, I enjoyed the fight and all that, and the fact that the chefs pointed out that the Lupin Rangers were the one that it helped them, which explains why they didn't really fight the Lupin Rangers this time, and kind of just let them do their thing.
Yep, it was good. At the cafe. Oh wait, jumped way too ahead. Gosh revives Metagu. Goody arrives to fight with the thieves, but they completely reject him. I'm sure they're still pissed off about him handing over Biker, but Toma says that they're tired after being eaten. Goody fights with the PatoRangers instead. Pato Kaiser theme is awesome, and just the whole fight in general. Wow, like the CGI is still just amazing. Metagu is defeated with the biker vehicle attachment. At the cafe, Kairi continues to chat up customers. He leaves Umika to wait on the officers when they show up. Sakuya is glad she's safe because she never actually replied after the fight broke out. And she says that she lost her smartphone. Sakuya apologizes that the date turned into work, and Umika apologizes as well for getting involved, which is kind of her deflection for the real reason she apologized. Sakuya shines and becomes serious about Umika, thinking she's a cute, considerate girl. Tsukasa sees Kairi teasing Umika with Toma in the background, and can't help but notice that they look just like the thieves. Episode end.
So I love that they just blow off Goody. Like, we're tired from being eaten. Just go to them. This was a good mech fight. Nice to see the bike in work. I love when Tsukasa's like, oh, looks like the police are good with yo-yos. Goody is just like, what? So we know that when LupinRanger summoned the cyclone, the face opened up again to get it out. With PatoRanger, that doesn't happen. Like when it cuts to the outside the mech, it's already outside. So right now I'm just assuming that there's like a slot above the face that it's coming out of.
I still say it came out its nose.
Or that.
Just because of the way like it looked, as it started to get bigger, it kind of fell down forward first, and then got bigger.
And then as for Umika saying she dropped her phone, I think she may have actually dropped her phone. I don't think she would have forgotten if he actually kept calling her the way he said he did. And between the two of them, I believe that happened.
I mean, like amid all the chaos of everything that went down, it's a fair thing to say like she forgot her phone at the restaurant or something. I'm enjoying the mech fights in the series, despite the fact that they're short. There's substance to them, unlike Q Ranger, which was literally, "Hey, look, we're a mech." Final
giant laser.
Yeah, there's some substance to the fight, even if it's not a very long fight.
Yeah, like the bad guys are actually hitting them first and such. I actually can't think of many times where that happened in Kaitou Ranger outside of important battles.
Or in the very beginning. You know, when Lucky was still a piece of shit.
Like, Kaitou Ranger wasn't a very mech-heavy series. I'm fine with that. The problem is that they kept pushing the mechs. Sure, it was probably just for toy sales. Do something with them to make me actually want to buy the toy.
Because I'm pretty sure the toy doesn't shoot giant laser beams.
Definitely.
The end of the episode itself with Sakuya kind of getting serious and all that is like, that was cute and a nice touch. I will admit, like, my jaw dropped when Pink started putting everything together. Because I'm like, no, they can't do this now.
Can we please talk about the next episode preview?
Yes.
Possible spoilers to anybody who's not seen it.
So, like, they're going to, like, follow the three of them around to see if they transform or anything. They're going to get Jim Carter to disguise himself as a ganglar by putting a safe on his head. Oh, it's gonna be a hilarious train wreck. It's not going to work. Like, it's too soon.
Yeah.
Like, because of how comedy heavy the next episode seems, I really hope Hilltop's involved in it a lot.
I can't wait for them to be like, I think Umika is Lupin Yellow, and Sakuya to go, she's not evil. Seriously, like, everything about the preview makes it seem like they're going to find out. It's all like, oh, the LupinRanger's identities are finally. It's like, no, they're not. This is way too soon. Something's gonna happen to make it seem like, oh, Tsukasa got it wrong, and then Tsukasa's probably gonna be embarrassed that she got it wrong.
Yeah, the shenanigans will be very real.
Should we move on to final thoughts about this episode?
Yep. Another home run. I love this show. It's awesome. The characters, the actors, the mechs, the suits, the toy gimmicks are pretty fun. No complaints from me yet.
This was a great episode. A lot of subtlety, a lot of details that you might not have noticed. For example, this is actually like the first time you see any of the Power Rangers in civilian clothing. Which kind of, it looked just so weird because you don't normally see that, or at least we haven't so far. This was a great Umika episode as well, giving a bit more character to her, showing why she's like kind of the way she is. She just has had people protecting her whole life. I'm glad that like all the characters are getting development, and we saw a bit more about what happened to her when her friend got frozen. The only one that we haven't truly seen is Kairi this time. We know he was arguing with his brother, but about what? I suspect that we'll be getting that in a few episodes. After next week's like comedic whatever it'll be.
Like, this series has been fantastic. Seeing any of the Pat Rangers in civilian clothes was a little odd. Not unexpected, but like when you take Deca Ranger and then like this is like seeing cops in civilian clothes in these shows is kind of awkward. Like it's normal for us to see the Lupin Rangers, you know, in normal clothes because, well, they're not technically on the job at any moment. I will admit I did enjoy like Umika's changing clothing and like the way she did her hair and all that. It looked really cute and it made her look different. Because like in the restaurant she seems more kind of bland. Like she's just there because she's supposed to be there. It's like Whereas this is she took time and effort with her appearance, be it even if it was just to play up the part that she was on a date, but it was that small little extra mile thing that was done really, really well. And you can see in that moment, you can also see that her sense of style really hasn't changed since she was getting bullied in school. Still kind of flowery and frilly.
I thought her hair looked a little weird, actually.
Right, is that because and this is one thing I've noticed with Sentai and everything too, is like we're not used to hairstyles changing. Like for the most part, everybody's hair stays the same throughout the series. They're not really, it doesn't really change until they do the whole, epilogue thing where time has passed. So to have somebody's hair change, it's a little off-putting because it's something that doesn't normally happen, in my opinion. Like I think that might have been the major issue, is just not expecting things to change that normally don't. But yeah, it's like this series is off to a phenomenal start.
With that, has everyone said their piece?
Yep.
Alright, thanks for joining us, everybody. This series is killing it. We'll be back next Tuesday to talk about it some more. I'm kind of sad we have to wait another week to get that episode because it just looks so hilarious. But in the meantime, we'll be back tomorrow for some Kamen Rider build. See you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys. See you guys then.